Today, we're going to talk about one of the most mysterious ancient civilizations in North America, the Ancestral Puebloans, also known as the Ancestral. These people built incredible cliffside villages in what is now the southwestern United States. But around the year 1300, they mysteriously vanished from almost everything we know. They left behind huge unfinished buildings with no signs of struggle or conflict. They didn't leave behind any written records, and no one knows exactly why they left or where they all went. There are many theories about their disappearance, but none of them can be proven for sure. So today, we will discuss some of the popular theories about the disappearance of this ancient Native American culture. We have mentioned the ancestral Pueblo people before in our series, the most mysterious ancient civilizations in America. So if you want more detail about who they were and what they accomplished, be sure to check out that video. In it, we dive deep into their history and culture, including their migration to the Four Corners region of the United States, where they settled into the rich and fertile valley. There are three major periods of their history that historians recognize. From around 550 to 900 AD is known as the Basca Maker period. This was a time when these early ancestors of the Puebloans lived in small settlements and made most of their tools and weapons from stone and bone. They were also known for their pottery, which they decorated with intricate geometric patterns. From 900 to 1150 AD is the next period, known as the Pueblo period. During this time, the ancestral Puebloans began to build larger towns made of stone, and they started to farm crops like corn, beans, and squash. Their pottery also became more refined during this time. They built great houses, some of which had multiple stories, and they continued to decorate them with beautiful murals and petroglyphs. The last period of their history is from 1150 to 1300 AD and is known as the Pueblo II period. During this time, the ancestral Puebloans reached a peak of their culture, building large apartment complexes into the sides of cliffs and creating impressive systems of roads and irrigation. Some of their best-known sites like Chaco Canyon and Mesa Verde were built during this period. Chaco Canyon is located in northwest New Mexico and was probably the cultural center of the entire ancestral Pueblo world during the Pueblo II period. It contains over 500 archaeological sites, including great houses, kivas, storage rooms, roads, and even an astronomical observatory. The largest of these buildings is Chetroquetl, which means gray salt in English. At its peak, Chetroquetl may have housed up to 2,000 people, making it one of the largest cities in North America at the time. Mesa Verde is another famous site that contains over 500 archaeological sites. It is located in southwest Colorado and is home to Cliff Palace, which is the largest cliff dwelling in North America. It has over 150 rooms and may have been home to over 1,000 people. The ancestral Puebloans were incredible builders and engineers, and they used techniques like buttressing and corbelling to create buildings that could stand for centuries. Buttressing is a technique in which stones are placed at an angle against a wall to provide support. Corbelling is a technique in which stones are laid in courses with each course, projecting slightly over the one below it until the desired thickness is achieved. They also used a mortar made of clay and sand to help hold the stones together. Their buildings were not only functional, but they were also works of art. They decorated their walls with paintings and petroglyphs that depict their culture, religion, and daily life. The ancestral Puebloans were farmers, and they grew crops like corn, beans, squash, and cotton. They also hunted animals like deer, rabbit, and turkey. They were also skilled potters, and they made jars, bowls, and other objects out of clay. They also wove baskets and mats out of reeds and grasses. Their economy was based on trade, and they traded goods like pottery, baskets, and turquoise with other cultures. They also had a social hierarchy, and their society was divided into commoners and nobles. The nobles controlled the government and the economy, and they had more rights and privileges than the commoners. Religion was an important part of ancestral Pueblo life, and they believed in a number of gods and spirits. They also practiced rituals and ceremonies to honor the gods and to ensure the fertility of the land. Some of the religious beliefs are still practiced by Native American tribes today. The ancestral Puebloans did not have a written language, but they kept records by creating what is known as a mnemonic device. A mnemonic device is a system of symbols or signs that is used to remember words, numbers, or other information. The ancestral Puebloans used petroglyphs, which are carvings in rock, and which are paintings on rock, as a form of mnemonic device. They also used other methods such as storytelling and songs to pass down their history and culture. And now we get to the real mystery of the ancestral Puebloans, their disappearance. Around the year the ancestral Puebloans abandoned their homes in the Four Corners region, and no one knows exactly why. Archaeologists have found evidence of a severe drought in the region during the 13th century, which may have contributed to the decline of the ancestral Puebloan civilization. The drought may have caused food shortages and forced the ancestral Puebloans to abandon their homes and migrate to other areas. However, recent studies have challenged this theory. saying that while there was a drought, it wasn't as severe as previously thought, and it didn't last for as long, so it probably wasn't the main cause of the abandonment of the region. Another theory is that the ancestral Puebloans were forced to leave their homes by outside invaders. However, archaeologists have not found any evidence of violence or struggle, so this theory is unlikely. Another possibility is that the ancestral Puebloans simply became sedentary and gave up their nomadic lifestyle. This theory is supported by the fact that archaeologists have found evidence of farming in the Four Corners region dating back thousands of years. The ancestral Puebloans may have chosen to settle down and become farmers because it was a more reliable way of getting food than hunting and gathering. Finally, it is possible that the ancestral Puebloans never really disappeared, but rather integrated into other Native American tribes. This theory is supported by the fact that many of the archaeological sites in the Four Corners region were occupied by other tribes after the ancestral Puebloans left. For example, the Hopi and Zuni people have lived in the area for centuries, and they speak languages that are related to the ancestral Puebloan language. So, what do you think happened to the ancestral Puebloans? Do you think they were wiped out by a drought? Or did they simply move away? Let us know your thoughts. We would love to hear what you have to say. In conclusion, the ancestral Puebloans were an ancient Native American culture that lived in the Four Corners region of the United States. They were known for their impressive cliffside villages and their mysterious disappearance around the year 1300. While archaeologists have not been able to determine exactly what caused the ancestral Puebloans to abandon their homes, there are several theories that attempt to explain their disappearance. Whether they were wiped out by a drought, forced out by invaders, or simply chose to settle down and become farmers. The ancestral Puebloans left behind a rich legacy of culture and history that continues to fascinate us today. Their impressive buildings and artifacts tell the story of a highly skilled and innovative people who were able to thrive in a challenging environment. Although their civilization may have disappeared, their contributions to Native American culture are still felt today. If you enjoyed learning more about the ancestral Puebloans, then please like this video and subscribe so you never miss an exciting episode. Thanks for watching. Until next time.